this week is going to be very important for crypto, and I expect a lot of volatility as there's a lot of sell pressure currently in the market and a lot of uncertainties. The FTX hacker is currently dumping all his Ethereum, and we have one of the largest players in crypto that just came out and said that they are refusing to show a proof of reserves of their balances. And if they would be in trouble, this could be catastrophic for crypto for the next couple years. Now, that big player is obviously Grayscale, and Grayscale is an investment firm that helps investors, especially institutions and big wealthy investors, to get exposure to crypto. What's interesting to note, though, is that Grayscale is a subsidiary of Digital Currency Group, or DCG. And if you see at the companies that are linked and under the umbrella of DCG, Grayscale is just one of them. You see Genesis Trading is also part of that, and Genesis Trading just had a basically insolvency on their lending platform. Then we have CoinDesk also, which is the largest news platform in crypto and also the host of Consensus, which is one of the largest conferences in the world, and a bunch more, right, that are part of DCG. Now, why is Grayscale so big? Now, here on the website, you can actually see their products, right? All the investments that you can make through Grayscale. And you can see that the largest one by far is their Bitcoin Trust, which currently has 10.5 billion US dollars under management. The second largest is obviously Ethereum with 3.6 billion. And these assets are then custodied by Coinbase, which means Grayscale itself is not holding the asset, but they use Coinbase custody as a service provider to store all these assets, right? Now, given that everything is collapsing in crypto right now and imploding, Grayscale just came out and said, hey guys, I know you guys are concerned, but with this threat, we basically want to tell you that you can trust us, right? We can't prove it. We don't want to prove it because that would pose a security risk for whatever reason, but you should just trust us, right? Now, the interesting part actually starts here, where they say that all of the digital assets that underlie Grayscale's products are stored under the custody of Coinbase Custody Trust Company, which is a highly regulated entity in the US, I think in New York, actually, which is one of the toughest regulatory jurisdictions out there. What they then say further is that Coinbase frequently performs on-chain validation to make sure that these funds are actually there. Due to security concerns, we do not make such on-chain valid information and confirmation publicly available through cryptographic proof of reserve. And this got a lot of people concerning, right? So the question is, why do they say that? Why don't they just prove their reserves? And I think this would calm the market a little bit. Binance just did it. Kraken does it since 8 years. A lot of other big players came out and did it. So that's a bit concerning. The question is now, why is that a big deal? Now, that's a very big deal because Grayscale supposedly holds 635,000 Bitcoins, right? Which we just learned is well over 10 billion US dollars. Just to give a comparison, the FTX hack and the FTX collapse basically was an $8 billion gap, right? So that alone is already well over the FTX size. And then we have a bunch of other coins. We have, for example, over 3 million ETH that are supposedly sitting in these wallets. And then there's a bunch of other coins, right? ADA, Solana, AVAX, Link. No Atom, though, and no other Cosmos coin. But still, that is a big thing. Grayscale is obviously a giant in the industry. And if they would fall, it would be catastrophic for crypto. Now, do I believe that this is going to happen? I don't think so, to be honest. I don't think so. I think the chances are very low, and it's very unlikely that this will happen, but there's still always a probability that they would fall, right? We also never would have thought about FTX, that they would be insolvent, and here we are. So Grayscale is a big factor that could potentially send Bitcoin and other coins another 50-60% down if that would collapse. That would be my guess. And actually, an account to follow here to stay updated is Sonnenschein. He's currently the CEO at Grayscale. It used to be Barry Silbert, but I think he is purely managing now the parent company, DCG, as of my understanding. But anyway, so he's just saying, he came out a few days ago and he said, I'm deeply optimistic, even though we're in a difficult moment in crypto. He's deeply optimistic about the future of the industry, Grayscale's business, and the opportunity for investors. Now, we don't know. I mean, this is just words on Twitter. Now, unfortunately, that's all we get. And I think that's not enough, because our trust in these founders and people that run centralized companies and institutions and exchanges is at least extremely hit, if not it's entirely gone, right? We heard SBF say similar things just before FTX collapsed. Even as it collapsed, he still said FTX US is liquid, which wasn't the case. And also Ryan Selkis from Messari just came out and said that the right thing to do for Grayscale shareholders now is to approach the SEC and ask for Reg M relief, given the circumstances. The ETF is not happening, which, by the way, that's what Grayscale is pushing for. And that's why also they're kind of like important for crypto, because they're pushing for an US regulated ETF. That would open the gates for a lot of money to get into crypto. So that might actually be the next catalyst for the next bull run. But well, that hasn't happened for the past years, and it seems like it's not happening anytime soon. So yeah, he's basically asking for in-kind redemptions for GBTC shares, as of my understanding. So what would that mean? I'm not too deeply familiar with how that would work and what role the SEC would play in that. But basically, this would mean that a lot of these investments here would become liquid. So a lot of these investors could actually sell, right? So this would make it liquid on the market, which would mean a lot of crazy sell pressure, right? I mean, 10.5 billion in Bitcoin alone, 3.6 billion in Ethereum. If the FTX hacker can move the Ethereum price with his 200,000 ETH, then what is 3 million ETH going to do, right? So what's the bottom line, and what are the next steps from here? I think the bottom line is that we're currently in a phase in crypto where a lot of bad actors are getting washed out. A lot of transparency is coming into these business models that were just working in a bull run, but now they're getting a big hit. Centralized lending, hedge funds, right, that were investing, that were taking also customer funds and gambled them on some weird crypto experiments and yield farming. All these bad actors are getting washed out, and we have already seen a lot of them being washed out. So I don't think there's still a large downside in crypto. I also don't think there's still a lot of bad actors left. But that also doesn't mean that we're through the worst, right? If DCG falls, that would be catastrophic, but I think it's highly unlikely that it will fall. What is the bottom line from all this? Capo is saying that the capitulation has just started and that this week is going to be decisive, and that he is 100% out of the market. And this has 11,000 likes almost, right? So he's reaching millions of people with this tweet. Now, is that a bad thing necessarily? In fact, just staying entirely out of crypto is not necessarily a bad thing, right? The only thing that you might miss out is when the bull market starts again, that you have opportunity cost, right? But that's not destroying your life. What might destroy your life is if you're 100% in crypto right now and crypto would drop another 80, 90%, right? So in fact, this advice is not the worst advice, but I don't think it's also the best advice, right? If you're in crypto, and I think if you're in crypto Twitter, you most likely are exposed to crypto, you're trying to stay up to date with everything, you already have money in it. I don't think selling everything right now is a smart move. I don't think staying 100% out of the market in crypto is a smart move at any given time, right? The best you can do is, the further we get away from the all-time high, the more you buy, the more you scale in, right? So you just dollar cost average to the downside, and at some point the market is going to turn around. The thing is, no one knows whether this capitulation has just started, whether we're halfway through, or whether we're not even in the capitulation phase, right? It kind of feels like it, but we also don't fully know. So personally, I think instead of trying to catch the exact bottom, to get all in when everyone is at max pain, max fear, and the prices are the absolute low on the dollar, instead of trying to catch that moment, I think it's a good time to start scaling in if you haven't already, or if you're not already exposed to crypto. To be honest, and obviously none of this is financial advice, crypto can go to zero any given time, but now it's probably a good time to just scale back in, right? I mean, we are currently almost 80% away from the all-time high in Bitcoin. A lot of altcoins are bleeding right now, are suffering, and the fundamentals haven't changed, right? Developers are having the time of their life because they have less noise right now. They can really focus on building. If you also want to hear developers, then subscribe to this channel because I talk to a lot of them. I also have a lot of spaces where I talk to the core developers, mostly in Cosmos. So yeah, I don't think staying 100% of the market is a smart idea. Actually, I also made a tweet here. Sure, we might see more sell pressure liquidations, but let's see. I wouldn't personally risk to stay entirely out of the market. Crypto is unpredictable after all, right? So the bottom line is, be cautious, but don't panic. It feels like the bottom is very close, if not in. And I don't actually see how another big player would fall. If Grayscale would fall, it would be catastrophic for sure, no question, no doubt. So that's why don't go all in right now. But it's also kind of like right now we're in this down spiral. We're in this negative train. Everyone is extremely fearful. Everyone is super scared. So it's all amplifying all these news, right? And I wanted to make this video to remind you to not get too emotional, to not try to catch the exact bottom, to rather just be like zoom out a little bit. Maybe also look at on-chain stats. I'm also going to make a video where I walk you guys through some of the developments, wallets, trading, activity, volume, active users, all these kind of things. Because I'm pretty sure that we're going to see a lot of positive data points from there, right? So this is the stuff to basically look at. But yeah, if you look at the markets, obviously right now, it's very, very bad. Ethereum at 1100, Bitcoin just about, hovering around 16K. So can it go to 12K? Sure, anytime. But does it really matter at this point? I don't think it really matters. It will just wash out people that came for the quick money. They will leave the industry, and it's also very natural and healthy for the market to correct and wash out the bad actors and wash out the weak hands. But yeah, just don't get shaken out. At the same time, don't go all in. Be a little bit neutral, but rather bullish, I would say, because you should be more bullish when everyone's bearish, when everyone's calling for the worst. That's where you should be more excited about things. So anyways, let me know what you think about the current market. Obviously, it's not ideal right now, but yeah, looking forward to your comments and to your thoughts. See you guys in the next one. Stay safe, guys, and be good.